Hey everyone, happy Wednesday. Clark Brown here, doing a live for the Air Group only. Give everybody a minute here to come on. Hopefully they will. Are you aware, just while I wait on everybody, are you aware that if you don't follow a page, you won't be notified when there's a Facebook Live? Now, many of you in Air, in business, might understand that you don't need the distractions of Live and Facebook, and you are busy in your business. And for that, I would applaud you. What I want to talk about today is not urgent. It's not spellbinding. I just wanted to say a few things. I'll go ahead and get started. First off, forgive me for being quiet this week, relatively, and I'm kind of low. I lost a friend Monday to COVID. He passed away. He's my age, and he's a father of 4. Pretty good friend. Just don't like seeing people. I don't like losing people. So I'm kind of taking some downtime this week, just processing it all. But listen, I've gotten a lot of I don't know, a dozen or so texts today, PMs, emails, calls about the big news last night. When I say the big news, for our industry, it's big news. NextGear Solutions, which is the principal company that owns Dash, the software project management tools, CRM, for our industry, clearly probably is the largest and probably the widest used and oldest, maybe one of the oldest, maybe not the oldest. It was purchased by a group called CoreLogic. Now listen, I'm not an expert. I'm not a software nut, a software guru. So I'm going to be talking about just what I do know and maybe my perceptions. I clearly don't know what this all means or what this will mean. I don't have a crystal ball, and obviously no one asking expects that. I have some opinions about this specifically, but more so about what it means in a bigger scheme of things. So those of you who don't know, NextGear Solutions out of Oxford, Mississippi, very good people. Garrett Gray's a good friend of mine, the owner, the principal, the president. It's a good friend of mine. I've known him for many, many years. Brandon Burton's over there. I've run into Brandon Burton several times. But they own Dash. And CoreLogic is the parent company that owns Symbility. Now, Symbility is probably the number one competitor to Xactimate for a specific tool that does what Xactimate does, which is construction and contracting estimating platform. What does it mean? I don't really know. I will tell you, obviously Symbility probably is, if they're doing their job right, they're looking for market share growth. And they said how better to get into the hands of more restoration contractors than to partner with, acquire the biggest that has already a big platform, which is Xactimate. Integrate Symbility into NextGear Dash. Integrate their software into use of Dash. This will be interesting to watch people who, I don't know if it'll be exclusionary, meaning that whatever integration NextGear has always had with, or Dash has always had with Xactimate, how that will change, if at all, or if it's going to be exclusionary, saying we don't work with that program. So Symbility will become an add-on API connector integrator with that. They may improve their software. I don't know. It's another big acquisition in our industry. Our industry, I feel that our restoration remediation industry it's hard to really put a finger on how old it really is, but I would say in its current status of truly companies that are standalone doing restoration remediation is probably close to 20 years. And I would tell you that some 20 years, 25 years, maybe max. Maybe some people have some argument longer, but there was always carpet cleaning and cleaning, but not so much as dehumidification and drying and restoration and stuff like that. So every industry has a critical path, and I think we have matured in our industry to the point where large acquisitions are occurring. We're seeing a lot of the companies, a lot of big companies gobble up and buy the smaller ones. Everybody will agree that our industry is overly saturated with contractors, and the purchase and acquisition is part of the attrition of that. It just happens in every industry. It happens in healthcare. It happens in auto dealerships. It happens in grocery stores. It happens, and we're seeing that happen. And now this is the first big one that has dove into the software side. What does this mean? I'm not a big fan of software companies for restoration. And I'll tell you why. And I just made a post about this earlier. For us, for the longest time, whiteboards worked, okay? I think that the adoption and adaptation of bringing CRMs and project management software into our industry is probably a good thing if it's used the right way. But by and large, it is driven by the requirements that are now being pushed upon us by the insurance carriers to do their work. Much of what we document has little to nothing to do with the quality of work that we do. You can sit and argue with me that you think the documentation is good for our business, and I won't completely disagree with you, but I will tell you that I, as a professional restoration contractor, and probably most of you that are in air, know how to dry a building, to clean a building, to remediate mold remediation. You don't need 600 pictures. You aren't doing that for you. You may say, well, I'm doing that to cover my ass. From what? If you do a good job, you can stand on your academics, your acumen, your professionalism. I just think that much of the administrative burden has been shifted in this industry over to the contractors. And why? We could argue that it's a way for them the insurance companies to save money on labor and staffing from adjusters and field adjusters. There's some truth to that. But I think it's also a matter of how they hire engineers and forensic psychologists at insurance companies. I know they do. I've met some. They hire high-level personnel to engineer how this works. They are in the middle of data mining. If you don't know what data mining is the aggregation of data across many different points and sets to create statistical anomalies and statistical examples of everything. What I mean is we're moving towards a day where, and I'm sure they have it now, Xactimate, maybe Symbility, I don't know Symbility. Xactimate, having had 6 million homes or businesses uploaded for remediation, restoration into their algorithm, has led them to know in Cleveland, Ohio, in the month of June, the price per square foot to do a remediation is X. We're moving towards a systemization. It's no different than restaurants that are moving towards tablets to order food. People are being replaced. The commodity, you are becoming a commodity. We are becoming a commodity. The expertise that we have is shrinking in eyes of the public and of course the carrier and the generalized. And franchises are starting to build models off of this. It's just a natural order of things. So what I think is that these acquisitions of behemoth companies with endless amounts of money, smart people, smart companies, smart programs are smart. They are building something that we should be. When I say that, what I mean is in this whole conversation, for instance, there's part of me that says if you don't use Dash, if you don't subscribe, and if you're not a contributor to that, it shouldn't even be on your radar. Just keep going. It means nothing. Now, bigger picture, what does it mean down the road? Of course. Stay in, keep your eye on that. But with as many problems as we have in our businesses, and I don't mean big problems, I mean your company is a moldable project. You're always improving it. And when I say improving, you should be solving every problem. Too many people every single Monday or Wednesday come in and the same issue happens again and again and again because we have not approached our business like a business, and we're in reactionary mode, and we're running around chasing our tails trying to collect money because the insurance company wants a few more pictures and the day 2's readings didn't match what they wanted them to read. It's ridiculous. You know me, you know that I'm the one that says ghost the carrier. They don't exist in my world. Even when I was a contractor, I dealt with the insured. So, but on this topic, let's see where it goes. But it's not, I'm watching other associations, I can promise you that AIR is not making a public statement about what this means for the industry. I just watched a couple more organizations, and you know what they're all about? Well, we at the so-and-so and so-and-so always keep our eye on the leading edge of what's going on, and we want to watch out for our members, and you need to tell more people to come subscribe and so we can grow and membership and sell. I'm going to tell you right now, guys, I started AIR with others because I don't think any other association really gives a flying fuck about their members from a high level. Now, I know individuals in them do, but I go to their shows. I'm just not a fan. I'm just not a fan of what I saw representing this industry. But I'm watching some of these other publications and these other thought leaders and stuff, and everyone wants to talk about it because they want to be seen talking about something that's current. Like, hey, see me, I'm staying on top of things. It's not what we're about. I would tell you, do you build your company, perfect your processes, fail forward, pick back up, do it again. I see it every day. I think our biggest area of need right now is talent acquisition. Obviously, everyone is shorthanded, but I believe, and I've taken some training recently, some really high-level training outside of our industry. People put talent acquisition far and above everything else. And right now, we're in a critical stage in our industry, in our world, in our society, where you need the best people. We have collections problems. We have problems with this, with that. Listen, maybe we have all of those problems because we don't have the right people doing our jobs, projects, our staff, our technicians, project managers, estimators, everything. I think everybody's business could stand a lot of improvement, mine as well. So that's what I think we should be keeping up with. But to answer the question to those that may have texted me today, I think that data and electronics and computers and programs and algorithms and AI are slowly eroding the value you bring as a person, as an individual. I think the end user is becoming very accustomed to not expecting incredible, empathetic servants like yourselves and me. I think that text and email and live chat has become far more the norm. We're moving into a software-based world, and I think those that figure out how to find that segment of people who want better or need it and just don't know it, figuring out how to pull people out of that numbness, that zombie trance, that everything is a software and app. As a coach, I get people all the time saying, I don't have time for coaching. Just send me a blueprint, a PDF. Then they won't read it. They won't put it into action. We're just moving into a real weird world. And then lastly, I would say that all things internet, all things Facebook, all things Google, YouTube, our trust in the belief that what's real, what's wrong, what's real, what's right and wrong, accurate, not accurate, opinion versus somebody selling something, we've become jaded. We don't believe and trust in that many people anymore. There's guys that are consultants for restoration promising you all kinds of crazy stuff. Oh yeah, if you're not doing this, you're doing it wrong. That's not true. So it's not overwhelmingly high level. I haven't put a whole lot of thought into it. I'm watching, and again, I got a text today from someone at Next Gear and said, more will be coming out later. And we're going to see later what this is going to become. Might be great. I don't know. But I would say focus on how you serve your customer, the experience. Don't go to another water damage class. Don't go to another class to learn something. Don't follow icons. Focus on your customer. Sit down with your team. Figure out how you can make a customer not say, meh, service was meh. People say, I can't believe your service exists. Why don't all contractors do what you do? That's the business you need to go. That's what I would say focus on. Secondly, let me switch gears. Hope that helps. It's not overwhelming, but I just don't think there's a lot of news to it. I think it's something that we're going to have to wait and watch and see. I'm not seeing any comments, and I don't know if I'm doing something wrong here. Anybody watching, give me a thumbs up. Am I don't know. Swipe left. Yeah. Okay, Chad, thanks, man. All of you watching, which is all, looks like if I believe this, it's, David Cashian, people will pay for a better customer experience. We all want to feel good. I do. I think I've told the story 100 times. I love going to the movies, and I drive past 3 movie theaters to go to the one that has a better experience for me, which is cleaner, nicer, better seats, etc. And I'm shocked of the ones that I pass by. What do they have to know that people are passing them by. They have to see the parking lot of the busy one and then look at their own and say, wait, that's your business. I don't want to go off on a tangent, but the question I get, 3-4 people a month call me and say, hey, I'm starting a brand new restoration company, or I've already started, I'm just trying to figure it out. And I asked the question, when you first started, ask yourself, what compelled you to start a restoration remediation company in your community? Did you look around and notice how many there already were? Doesn't necessarily mean it's going to stop you from doing it, but there's no shortage. It's not like I'm saying, hey, there's just nobody that serves my area. Now, you might say, my own house flooded and the company I used was terrible. Now you're onto something. That's very common. But what are you doing differently? Everybody talks about that. We got the best experience and my customers. But do you really? Can you really achieve that with $14, $15 an hour people that just barely get enough training? Customer experience will win you the race. I have contractor friends that do $8 to $10 million a year with minimal people. Here's a metric. Here's a metric for you. Large corporations do this. Take your yearly revenue, divide it by the number of employees, or do profit. Look at the profit per person. Now, it's not equal. Not everybody creates the same amount. But if you run $1 million company and you have 5 employees, $200,000 a year per person is the value. Doesn't mean they're only worth that. The trick is next year, try to go to 1.5 with 6, or keep your 5. Become more efficient. The training becomes so good that you're now creeping up your net profit by keeping the same number of people. Your overhead has not grown. So more on that. Just so everybody knows, I'm starting. It's honorable. We do improve people's lives, and that thank you is definitely a commission. I like it. Okay, next subject. I made an announcement in this group 2 weeks ago that we have done some realignment and reorganization for AIR as far as the leadership. We have actually brought in 7 other leaders for our leadership council committee. Pretty much a board. In a lot of ways, it's much like a board. All 7, we have divided up what we need to do and what our promise on our mission. What are the components that make up the ingredients that will make that happen, make the dream that we have and that you bought into a realization? I still I still am adamant, regardless of 2020 and the bad year we had and the loss of engagement, I believe in my heart that AIR is and has the most capacity and the mobility and adaptability to truly serve and represent the industry of people that are part of it by making the people that are involved a part of it. I believe we have the best chance to do that. And I believe that we can actually create some massive changes in our industry just from our voice. We just got to get there. So 7 new leaderships positions. We have split this country up into 7 different pieces geographically. And each leader is now accountable and responsible for a territory, which means Chris Jeter has the Southwest. He has Texas, Arkansas, Oklahoma, New Mexico, maybe Arizona. That segment and all the members that are there and things that impact that area, hurricanes, freezes, he is involved with that. He now has 20 to 30 members in that region that are now part of his tribe, and he can delegate, and he can reach those. Lots of people reach out and say, we'd like to be part of something. We're going to get chapters back going. We're going to have small summits, micro summits. We're going to bring in top level educators to do private classes in our regions and lower the cost by substantial amounts for our members to take training, whether that be technical training, sales training, safety, anything you can think of. But you all are going to be, that's all going to be rolled out slowly over the next few weeks and months. But all of you watching this now live or later should be getting a phone call from the leader, the person delegated to lead your region. You're going to get a call directly from them. We're not doing text. We're not doing emails because those are often ignored or not seen. You're going to be contacted, and we're going to want your feedback. And first of all, thank you. We're grateful that you come here. We're going to give reassurance that we have a path now, and that's going to be spelled out. Just a 5 or 8 minute conversation. But then you're going to be asked, what do you want from AIR? What would make this completely a no-brainer? And what would make this something that you would tell your peers and your colleagues and your competitors about in your market? So David Cashian, for instance, David's in Charlotte. Patrick De Silva is a great friend of mine, and there's a chapter there. I don't want to take anything away from that, but we're going to start doing stuff that even just a small chapter can't do. And I would like you, David, to be a spokesperson in Charlotte for our Alliance of Independent Restorers. And the leader of your region is Nick Levy. Nick Levy is Nick Knack, as you all know him, is out of Orlando. And he's incredibly engaged. And he's incredibly excited to connect. He loves talking to restoration contractors, loves it. And he's excited to be able to call everybody. He just runs a business and he's trying to make time for it. He's also going to need to delegate stuff to people. So we're really excited about this new direction. This has always been a group for all of us. It's going to be stronger with everyone engaged. So yeah, nothing more to say about it. I make everything. I talk too much. I make everything a long story. So look for that. We've lost a lot of members because of COVID, because of we just weren't delivering much. And we're going to try to reach out and win those people back because I think that we failed some people. And not intentionally, of course. But I think we owe a lot of people stuff. So I'm excited. All of you have a dream. We'd like to be part of that. We'd like to figure out from a high level everybody's desire for what they're trying to do. We'd like to put that into a couple of different categories, and we start making some sizable contributions as an organization and as a community, pouring into each other to make everybody successful. I say it all the time. I'm going to be successful by making others successful. Restoration Advisors, my company, I'm going to continue to grow as I help other people grow. So I believe in that philosophy, and I think so do most of you. So for those of you that reached out, I hope a little bit of my answer from the tech buyout just would say don't put too much stock into it. If you don't use Symbility or Dash, you're probably not going to notice anything. I just think, just like all the other acquisitions, we should keep our eye on it, but figure out start looking at this critically. Critical thinking about where this is going to put you in us. And listen, I think we all know that some of our industry just needs to go away. Some of it just needs to gobble up and dry away like the fruit on the tree that didn't harvest this year. That needs to happen. I think that there's far too many, and I think that only 8-9% of our industry does things right. I've said it so many times, and I think that a lot of people do it really, really wrong, and I think you know who they are, and I think you see it too. So anyway, thanks for tuning in for a few minutes. I haven't been on much. I wish I could do more. Maybe I will in the future, but I've been extremely busy like you are, and I can't let that be an excuse anymore. I'm going to make time. But in the meantime, reach out, make a comment here, be part of the group, be just throw. Maybe it's not a question. Maybe it's just words of encouragement for everybody else that's here. You do know that's what caused the Rebels to grow so well, is the community. People came for the content and they stayed for the community. This is it. This is the best of the best in this group. They really are the best of the best in this industry. Doesn't mean that some of the best aren't still in here that are not. There's still some that I haven't hooked in, but some people just don't buy into groups and communities and stuff like that. Some people like to stay on the fringe. Fine. Just like your customers, I don't want people in this group as sideline lurkers. I would like everybody to be part of it, not a spectator. I think that's how we grow stronger. You guys have a fantastic, fantastic week, and let me know your thoughts on this stuff. See ya.